Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Adara and today we're gonna do something fun. I have not wanted to read since I did the readathon last weekend and it's now Friday. And I had like a whole TBR for this week and I hadn't touched a single book. Eating me to the point that I can't read those 3 books in 3 days. So we're doing something else and I think it's honestly kind of fun. We're gonna try this reading weekend where instead of 3 books, we'll try to read 2. And I'll start with one that I've honestly been excited about, but didn't know how to start. So I'm throwing it in here for the fun of it. And that's Assault to Embrace. And this is by Opal Rain, and it is her last book in an 8-book series, and it is over 900 pages, somewhere along those lines. Is that basically 3 books? Yes. So I could read the 3. I want to read this. And then the other book I kind of wanted to read is The Heat of Us, which is a continuation of a series that Liliana has written before, where the other series is called The Scent of Us, and I gave that book series 5-6 stars if I remember right. I loved it. I have no idea what this is about, but I just realized yesterday that it came out and that it was on Kindle Unlimited. I'm on that. So I guess the theme for this weekend is weird romances, probably. Because this is an Omegaverse book, and the other one has a literal demon as a FMC and MMC. So, you know, not quite sure how to phrase that one in a YouTube title. First update. It's 21:30 on the Friday that we started this, and I've been deep dived into Assault to Embrace. Why have I forgotten the name? Assault to Embrace. And if you can hear my neighbors partying, I'm so sorry. For me, it's really annoying. But I guess it is Friday, and I guess some people do more than do their nails and read monster romances. Sounds boring for other people, but you know. I made it 42% in so far. You're like, oh yeah, so you're about half. This is a 900 something page book. I am in page 367. So basically read an entire book today, and I'm not even halfway. Feels a little disrespectful, but I'll let it slide. It says I have 7 hours and 20 minutes left. That's proven. Hopefully, I'll get to at least 50% tonight, so I can finish it tomorrow. And then have Sunday for the last book. I'm so excited about the last book. But this is, okay, here, sorry. I'm getting sidetracked. I usually don't get sidetracked, but today got me. I like it. So, if you don't know this series, it is the last book in a series of 8 books where all the other ones have been, the Duskwalker has been the MMC, and then the woman or man has usually been a human or a slight variety. We had one elf at one point. But now it's the other way around. So we have this demon / elf as the MMC, and then we have the Duskwalker as the FMC. One concern I had was that it would feel a little groomish, and luckily it hasn't. It hasn't felt that way. But the author is treading like a very fine line, because it is about him teaching her languages and how to count and humanity, right? So it gets a little grayscale there in a way that it didn't feel like it did when it was a man that was the Duskwalker. And that might be sexist. And if it is, I'm sorry. But she's honestly done it really well. And I think we've had a really, really excellent storytelling through this already. Because the thing is, there's a lot of shit that has to be resolved in this book. It is the last book. I know we get a novella more that's about the parents' point of view. And I'm excited for that one. But this is the one that's supposed to wrap up everything. So I want it to be long, and I'm enjoying it. But that means they have set up these 360 pages. They've used it to set up who they are, and they've started their relationship. Which I do like, because I needed this to go slow between them. I could not have a quickly done romance with this. So I'm really happy they took the time to write this book, the length that it needed to be. And I am enjoying it. So I'm really excited to see the second part of it. I think the second part is where it's going to go off. Because I think a lot of it, as I said, has been about building who these two are individually, but also who they are together and what it means, and to not make it icky and to make it seem groomish, right? So far, big fan. I might have rambled this time. Sorry. I'll also hopefully give you more than one update before I'm done. So, maybe. We'll see. It's now Saturday. I had a little sleep. And we have honestly made it so damn far in this book. We're at 61%. Do you know how many pages that is? That is 536 pages. And we're a bit over halfway, which is also crazy. whatever. I like it, it's fun, and I haven't thought it was bad at any point, but here in the middle it is slowing down. I think it'll get really good here in the 40% half, but right now I am a bit suspicious and not convinced of the direction we're heading. So I'll put my judge in Opal Rain because I've given the rest of these books like either 4 or 5 stars. But right now, I'm doubting her a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. But I am having fun with it. And they are like cute together, but I do think it is one of the relationships I am least invested in. But I'll update you when I'm further in. Maybe in 20%, somewhere along those lines. I promise I'll update you guys when I hit 80%. Not 81, so I guess I lied. I was completely right. It really took off as soon as I hit that 65% mark. And it went crazy. And it went in the best way crazy. So I am so happy about it. I'm on page 709, so I've read 709 pages split on today and yesterday. I'm gonna read a bit more in bed before I fall asleep, but it is midnight. It's 20 till midnight. So like half an hour more of reading, probably. And it says I have 2 hours and 15 minutes left. So we'll get under the 2-hour mark tonight, which is honestly quite nice, because then when I look at it tomorrow morning, it's not that daunting. Especially because I want to finish that 400-page book tomorrow. I really set some hefty goals for myself here. None of my business, I guess. I'm really enjoying it. And so there's all those who did this to you tropes and stuff. And he'd burn the world down for you. But have you ever heard of he'd forgive a vendetta because you're hurt? It's a new thing. And it's my new favorite thing. So I am all kinds of hyped up, and I'm so excited for how it's gonna end. Because I just know that the last 19% is gonna go so off. And I'm here for it. This might be one of those books where you're like, oh, I'll just read one more chapter. And then suddenly it's 3 a.m. and you're done with the book and you're crying and you don't know what to do with your life. I feel we're approaching that one. Especially, it's the last one. And I keep saying that I'll spread it out, you know, enjoy it, fully engage with it. And I'm impatient at best. And I want instant gratification. So I don't really jive with the whole delayed gratification. Give it now. Please and thank you. So I might check in with you tomorrow morning of me being done. And if that's the case, that's none of your business. I guess it's exactly your business, but it's none of your business. But good night at least. Remember yesterday when I was like, if I end up finishing this book before I go to bed, it's none of your business? It's none of your business. I stayed up till 2 a.m. finishing this. It was really, really good, and it was cute, and we got a really good moment, and it was such, it was a good time. It was a good time. And I highlighted a section that I wanted to show you guys. Yesterday I talked about the whole morally gray character and what it means instead of just having the morally black character, right? And usually the whole like, oh, I'd burn the world down for you thing, right, is a thing. But they said something in here, and I'm actually gonna read it out loud to you because it hits so right to what I said yesterday. I gave up everything for you. What was that if it wasn't love? Some men, immoral and cruel like him, might be willing to burn the world for someone they adored. But he'd already been trying to do that. Such a sacrifice was utterly meaningless with a past already filled with rampaging bloodshed. Giving her the world through domination was in line with his goal to raise the city, but entering peacefully? Not in a million years did he think he'd ever do such a thing. He gave up his goal, his idea, his revenge, and even his sense of self. He essentially tore himself to pieces, until all that remained was his obsession, infatuation, and tenderness for her. Until all that remained of him were the parts that were connected to her, and he was unwilling to let her go or see her be harmed through his actions. And I feel that's so much more telling than, oh, he'd raise the world for it. It's like, yeah, but he'd do that anyway. So him changing who he is as a person, changing his motivation because he'd rather her be happy. Slay. I don't know. It hit right, okay? That section was written so beautifully to the point where when I read it, I was like, I need to read this to you guys. So I feel like I'm blushing, okay? It was a really good book, and I really enjoyed it, and it was a good ending to the whole thing. It was a good conclusion to the story. I am not giving it 5 stars. And I am personally really sad about that, because I had really hoped it would be. Especially because apparently it was 875 pages. That's a lot of pages. And I really hope we would have that 5-star ending, and we didn't. I gave it 4 stars, so it was still amazing and I would still recommend it. But if I reread this series, I don't know if I'd read that with. And that makes me really sad, because I feel like the ending of a book should be what ties it all together. And yeah, sure, we had this like little bonus chapter at the end where we had this cute little meetup of all the previous couples and everything like that. But I feel like the ending of their story was missing something. And it focused a lot on Jabez, the MMC. It focused a lot on him and who he'd become. And it kind of put Zyla, our FMC, kind of behind and kind of forgotten, where he went off and, you know, came back to her every day. But we never really got her development. And then there were some people I really wanted her to meet and to develop a relationship with. And we didn't get that. We like heard from his point of view. It's like, oh, they've been friends for a week now. It's like, I wanted to see that friendship develop. I wanted to see her become her own person in this new world that they were living in. And I didn't get that. And that actually makes me really sad, because I feel like through the story, Opal Rain did an amazing job in making sure that it focused on both of them and who they could become as people, but also who they could become together. So I feel like that ball was a little dropped in the end. I really wanted that full development of a character through both of their point of views, and I don't feel like I got that. Because he got a job where they now lived, and he had something he was doing every day that could fulfill him. But we never heard what she was doing. But it was still a really good book in its entirety, so it's still a 4-star. Don't get me wrong. I just sadly have a few things that I really wish we'd have with. I think earlier I said that this was one of my least favorite couples, and sadly I think I stand by that. And I feel like the end kind of brought that point out, and that sucks a bit. But 4 stars, bang of a book. Nothing about that. But I always feel like if I read a book that's more than 700 pages, I need it to be a 5-star. Because what do you mean you have this many pages and you didn't get it to a 5-star level? So, my opinion. We also started the next book. We started The Heat of Us. And I got a good chunk in, so I'm actually gonna update you guys already. I am 58% in. I'm at page 230, and I'm having the time of my life. It's absolutely running past, and I'm just along for the ride. It is no thought, brain empty, such a good creation of characters. I don't know, stuff like this makes me happy. It's such a silly, goofy moment, and I like it. It's fun, and we have some really cool characters. We have our main character Hazel, and we have 3 guys, one called Axel, one called Bella, and one called Remy. And they all 3 have different purposes for her, and different reasons why she loves them so much. And seeing each of their relationship develop and how they get comfortable together is such a sweet little treat, and I'm having the time of my life. We finished it, and it was honestly such a good time. It was such, I mean, you saw my reactions. It was such a good time. It hit right, and the characters, the third act conflict, and it fueled me. It was one of those books where when you finish reading it, your love for reading is like invigorated, and that's how I feel right now. So I suggest this wholeheartedly. This wasn't as good as the first book in the series. Scent of Us Part 1 and 2 were absolutely brilliant, and those were 5 or 6 stars. This one though, I'm a little torn on where to put it, because damn did it hit right, and I read it at the exact right timing, so I am inclined to put it at a 4.75. That just feels silly as well, because like, why not knock it over? But it didn't continuously have that 5-star feel. So I'm gonna put it at 4.75 and call it an absolute banger. So read this book. And then instead of me giving you recs, if you have any recommendations in the Omegaverse universe where it isn't just smut, please tell me, because this shit was fire. I was a bit concerned if I could read both A Soul to Embrace and then The Heat of Us. 1,106 pages, gone. In 3 days? That's crazy. But damn, was it good. That's kind of the thing. I really like contemporary romances, like fluffy little rom-coms. Give them. Sometimes you need something silly. Take the edge off, you know? This was that. And if you were even a little bit interested in Omegaverse as a concept, I would suggest The Scent of Us, which is this book, which was the first book in the series. Enjoy it, because I did, and then come back and tell me what you thought. And it's on Kindle Unlimited. It's on mine at least. And it's been such a good time. So thank you for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.